Did you ever have the urge to fish with your beak for a Pikachu and throw it at your enemies because you were so angry? I hope not, but today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you one contester who's always fighting with those tactics. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our newest guide, the Cramorant one. Today we're gonna have a look at everything you need to know about Cramorant, how to use it effectively in-game, which battle and health items are the most effective, and what moves and move combinations help you to take the upper hand and win matches in Pokemon Unite. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kay, welcome, I hope you're enjoying yourself and getting valuable information out of the guides and gameplays from Pokemon Unite. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back, I'm happy to see you again. And maybe you know already what comes next, I have a bet for you. If you can take anything helping for you, like tips, tricks, strategies or anything else from this guide, I would be tremendously happy if you could support this video with a like and the channel as a whole with subscription. In this case, you're not only helping me, but the whole channel and Pokemon Unite community to on the one hand get better and on the other hand climb those ranked ladders to master rank more effectively. With that said, let's dive right into it. Cramorant has the difficulty expert and is a ranged attacker using special attack type damage. It has 4 stars in offense and 3 in mobility and endurance as well. And if you haven't played Cramorant already, you will see what kind of burst damage you can deal with Cramorant. Let's have a look at the progression and the moves. The progression is quite easy because you're starting out as Cramorant at level 1 and staying as it up until level 15. When starting out, we have 2 moves to our disposal. On the one side it's Whirlpool and on the other side is Feather Dance. Whirlpool, and this is one of the abilities that has, I think, most likely the most effects based on being a level 1 ability, but let's have a look. First we create a Whirlpool that deals damage to the enemy Pokemon in a distinct area of effect. This area slowly shrinks, but the damage dealt slowly increases. And just before the Whirlpool disappears, it decreases the movement speed of the enemy Pokemon as well for a short time. When we jump into this Whirlpool, we can catch an Arrokuda or other prey, more on that on the passive ability, by entering the area of effect. And the other ability is Feather Dance, which simply decreases the attack and movement speed of enemy Pokemon for a short time. The recommended line for Cramorant is the top one, but you can also go into the jungle with it because it has very good attacks to be there effective as well. But for this guide, I'm going to the top lane to show you all the moves and fighting abilities. I would start out with Whirlpool. Why? Because every time you hit, first of all you have a good AoE amount of damage and you also get 1 Arrokuda when getting into those Whirlpools and having more damage, and you see how fast we can strike down those APEMs. And again, if you place it right, those 2 on the top lane are very easily to be defeated because this damage output combined with a partner can be very effective for the beginning, and Whirlpool also helps you when getting further into the mid game. The second ability you get is Feather Dance, and this is quite simple. When attacking an enemy, its attack and movement speed will be decreased, giving you a little bit more survivability, which you can combine with your other moves to get more damage out to them quicker and they cannot hit you as hard as they would. At level 4, we can choose between Hurricane and Air Slash. Hurricane creates a fierce wind, dealing damage to the enemy Pokemon that gets caught in it, and it throws them as well. At level 11, we unlock Hurricane Plus, which increases also our movement speed for a short time. Air Slash lets us shoot out many blades of air while moving backward to create some distance to our opponents. It deals damage to the enemy Pokemon in the area of effect, and it reduces the move's cooldown for every slash that hits. At level 11, we unlock Air Slash Plus, which also restores some of our HP every time a blade of air hits an opposing Pokemon. The first new ability we get at level 4, and let's have a look at Hurricane. You see the range is very good, and when using it, all the enemies in this area will get hit by it and thrown into the air, having a little bit of CC so they cannot get away. And the good thing with Cramorant, when played right and using Hurricane, you can use a combination of Whirlpool and Hurricane to deal a good amount of damage. When first using Whirlpool and then using Hurricane, we can get a good combo. So let's have a look. Whirlpool first, hitting this APEM, and then Hurricane. It stays longer in the Whirlpool range and we can get the most amount of damage out of it and be very effective in the early and mid game with this combination. So that's also my recommendation, what you should take with Cramorant. The other move we can choose on level 4 is Air Slash. And I have to say, this is, I think, the least favorite ability of Cramorant and the least effective one. We can hit APEMs with it. You see all the APEMs can be hit. We're getting a little bit of distance and the cooldown is reduced. But I have to say it's not my favorite, and it's not as good as Hurricane because you don't get any hindrance. You can just jump away and it's not as effective like I said as the other abilities. Let's use it again. We're not only not getting anything else out of it, but also no prey in our beak, which also decreases our overall damage output. It's okay to have it in the moveset, but I wouldn't recommend using it. And at level 6 we get the second set of abilities, Surf and Dive. Surf attacks with a wave that deals damage to the enemy Pokemon. This wave travels forward, and when it's traveled its full distance, it returns the way it came, dealing damage again to enemy Pokemon and pulling them back with the wave. When using this move, we can also catch a Rakuda or other prey by entering this wave. At level 13, we unlock Surf Plus. This also decreases the movement speed of enemy Pokemon when the first wave hits. The other ability is Dive, with which we can change a designated area into a puddle, and we can dive into that area, dealing damage to the enemy Pokemon and shoving them when we're hitting. This also lets us catch a Rakuda or other wild Pokemon or prey like it's been described. A maximum of 3 uses can be kept in reserve for this move. And also at level 13 we unlock Dive Plus, which increases the damage dealt by this move. And at level 6 we can unlock Surf, and like we've heard, we are throwing one wave, getting the Aracuda in our face and then hitting the enemy again when the wave comes back. And this is very good to get people to you or to strike them on a bigger distance. So like you see, there is the combi, we're hitting, wave coming back, and with the second hit we're dealing not only good amount of damage but also getting a boosted attack and having such a good combination. And when it comes to Surf we can use Hurricane, and you see we can strike down those enemies very quickly. And to be said, this is also the combination I mostly like to use when playing with Cramorant. First having Surf, let's use it on this APEM, and then again with Hurricane because the enemy stays away, gets hit twice, and we have good amount of range to hit it even more. And on level 6 we also can take Dive, and when you're looking at the bottom right you see there's a number 1 because we can have 3 of those based in our move inventory when we want to use it. Let's have a look. First we're taking 2 puddles and jumping out of the enemies, and we are getting and prey into our beak when getting out. So with that combination we can strike the enemies down very well, but keep in mind now I have disabled all my cooldowns, so you can use 3 at a time at a maximum when having to wait for those next cooldown. But you have some mobility, you can use the boosted attack to deal more damage. It's okay, but compared with Surf, I think Surf is the more valuable option when fighting with it combined with Hurricane, and it's the better damage ability overall. And at level 9 we unlock, I think, one of the most funniest Unite moves, the Gatling Gulp Missile. The name says it all, we're becoming a Gatling gun because we're creating a puddle at our location and cannot move for the duration of the Unite move. Then we continuously use our mouth to grab a Rakuda or the other prey and spitting them out to the nearest opposing enemies. We cannot move, like I said, while we use this Unite move, but the damage is incredibly high. And at level 9 it's finally time to become the ultimate Gatling gun. When using this move, we automatically attacking the closest enemy in our range. In this case it's a doll because it's for the game like a main character, like a main enemy Pokemon, and that's why we're hitting it. But again, you see those damage numbers, we're hitting it, and it's around 900 on level 9, and we're hitting it, but we cannot move. But with that we have huge amount of burst damage, and we can burst down enemies very quickly when we're in the right area. And combined with the passive ability, we are soon there, I promise. You see how you can improve your damage a little bit further, but let's have a look at those combis and Bs, and you see striking them down, Aracuda bouncing between enemies, and we can make good damage with Cramorant and bursting down all those pesky enemy Pokemon. Now we can finally talk about it, the passive ability of Cramorant, which is Gulp Missile. When Pokemon uses certain moves, it catches some form of prey in its mouth, mostly Aracudas. But when we're receiving damage, we are spitting out the prey as a counterattack against opposing Pokemon. The type of prey and the effect differ based on the remaining HP. So when we're below 50%, we are not fishing out Aracudas, but mostly Pikachus, and dealing more damage with it when we're hitting other Pokemon. And the basic attack becomes boosted after every 4th hit. This boosted attack spits out Aracuda or other Pokemon prey at enemies and deals also damage to the opposing Pokemon near the target when it hits. So this attack also bounces. Abilities like Hurricane, Surf or Dive give us the possibility to get some prey into our beak as well when using our Unite move. But when we're below 50% of our health, it's not an Arracuda we're getting in our mouth, but a Pikachu. So you see, we are getting a Pikachu in our mouth, dealing more damage. And of course, when using the Unite move with it, you see we are not throwing those fish, but we are throwing Pikachus, that dealing increased damage to the enemies, which is very effective as well. And now imagine using Body Barrier, getting a shield for your Unite move, being below 50% of health, and now spitting Pikachus all over the field, and then you see how much damage we can deal to our enemies and how we can effectively win those fights combined with our special ability. After the move, let's have a look at the battle items, and of course I can recommend my all-time favorite, and that's eject button. We are getting additional dash to get out of situations or into a fight every 70 seconds and have so more survivability if we need it to. But in this case I can recommend the second item as well, because like you've seen, Cramorant can be quite a glass cannon and a burst damage machine. In this case, I also recommend X Attack, because there we increase our attack and special attack for a short time and can wreak even more havoc. When talking about battle items, we also have to talk about the question of the day. And today, my dear friends, I want to know from you, what is your favorite flying type Pokemon? Write it down in the comments, let me know, all generations are allowed. I'm interested to hear which are your favorites. And the guide wouldn't be complete if we would not talk about health items. And because Cramorant is a special attack type damager, this is my build when using it. At first, I would recommend Wise Glasses, because not only we get a flat amount of special attack increase, but also a percentage based one based on the level of the item, which increases our damage even further. Then of course, Body Barrier. The HP bonus is very nice, but the effect we are looking for is the shield, which we will get when using a Unite move. Not only that, but also a friendly Pokemon, which is nearest to us and has the lowest amount of HP, will get this shield as well, and this can turn battles against Zapdos or big team fights, which are important for us to win. And the next one are special attack specs. Not only we get a slight increase in special attack again, but every time we score a goal, our special attack is increased by a certain amount depending on the level. And you see, this build is all about making the most damage with Cramorant. While scoring, we're increasing the points, we have a big special attack boost from the beginning, and the Unite move gives us the survivability we need with Body Barrier. Another option, if you want to build on your Unite move, can also be the Energy Amplifier. With that, every time we use our Unite move, the damage of our Pokemon is increased by a certain percentage for a short time. That means while getting into our Unite move, the Gatling Gulp, we're dealing more damage when hitting the enemies and can burst them down even quicker. Also get an improved Unite move charge rate and reduced cooldowns. If you're having trouble in the early game with Cramorant or want just a little bit more survivability when starting out with it, you can of course also take Focus Band. It increases not only your defense but also special defense, and you can recover HP based on a certain percentage based on the level item when getting to a certain threshold. So you can have more life and get out of situations easier if you're in a clutch or have to get away safely. Now we've seen everything about this charming looking bird, all the battle and health item recommendations, all the moves and combos we can make. In the next few scenes, I'm going to show you some sequences from gameplays of mine where I've been using Cramorant, and I want to show you how you can use those to your advantage and how to improve your games with Cramorant. So have fun and let's have a look. Here you can see how effective Hurricane and Whirlpool can especially be in the early game. Alola Ninetales trying to farm something, but there we're hitting with Hurricane, flying it upwards, hitting with Whirlpool again, and the overall damage is strong enough to get one of them two down, and the other one will follow soon. In this case we had a successful push with Rotom, but we're seeing 3 of the enemy team are fighting against us. And we're trying to get away, but they're jumping to us and it doesn't look as well. But after that I decide to pop my Unite move, getting the shield, and you see how much damage we can deal with this. This is just amazing, and you just have to keep in mind with Body Barrier, you have survivability, and this Gatling gun is so hard and you can make so much damage with it. Cramorant can also be very effective when keeping enemies away, because with Hurricane and Surf you can push them around, pull them to you, and in this case our team was fighting against Dreadnought and I was trying to defend them from the enemies. And you see with all the moves, Surf at the distance, Hurricane pulling them upwards, we had enough time to secure Dreadnought, get all the experience points we need, and so further improve in the game to get more advantage against our enemies and fight more effectively. You see, it's very important to know when to use and when and how to use the moves, because you have to hit and to aim very closely to get them on point. Just when hitting with Surf and Hurricane, you can take the whole damage output from Cramorant and be effective with it. This is another scene from the early to mid game. You see a little Ninetales trying to pushing with their abilities, but with the combination of Hurricane, hitting, and then Surf getting after it, even if it's trying to get away, the damage output is so big that we can secure those fights easily and get the upper hand and get more experience, of course, and the upper hand in the fight overall. And once more, it's important for the enemies to strike you down as quickly as possible when you're playing as Cramorant, because you have this huge burst output. Combined with Zero Aura, you will see how quickly both of them will get down. One Surf into it and the Unite move of Zero Aura, and it helps us to secure the Rotom fight from earlier, getting those points down and winning this lane fight. Oh, those green eyes are looking right at the enemy, waiting for it to burst it down. You've seen Cramorant can be a real damage machine when using it correctly. Combined with the right battle and health items, the right moveset, and of course the best strategies, we can take everything out of Cramorant when we need it. Don't think I forgot about our bet from the beginning. If you've learned anything new, some tips, tricks, strategies, builds or anything else with Cramorant, I'd be again very happy if you could support this channel with a subscription and this video with a like. With that, YouTube knows that this kind of guides are helpful and you are enjoying it. So they will be shown to more people and we can grow our Pokemon Unite community even bigger and learn together how to play this game better and improve together to climb those ranked ladders up to Master and playing it right. I want to say again, thank you for all the support to the latest videos. The channel growth has been amazing. I'm happy that so many new people are coming here and I hope you're enjoying your time. But that's everything I have to say. If you want to know more about Pokemon Unite and the guides for all the Pokemon, let's have a look at my channel and you will find a big collection of videos where you can learn everything you possibly could need. My name's Kay, thanks for tuning in again and see you soon.